Hi guys, and welcome to Cultnomics. My name is Paul Hanley, and today I'm going to be chatting to you about first degree price discrimination. In order to understand first degree price discrimination and its implications, what we're going to do is draw down two different diagrams here. The first one on the left hand side is going to represent a normal firm that is profit maximizing, but it's not undertaking price discrimination, and in particular first degree price discrimination. So it will charge a price and it will have a cost of production. There will be a quantity produced down here on the x-axis, and it'll have an origin. Over here we're also going to look at an individual firm, but in this case this firm is practicing price discrimination, and first degree price discrimination at that. So it will also have a price and cost level of production, it will have a quantity and a unit cost. Okay, so start off on the left hand side over here. We have a normal firm that has a downward sloping demand curve. We'll just label that demand down here, and it has a marginal revenue curve derived off this, which is also downward sloping down here. So we have our marginal revenue curve. We're just going to assume a pretty standard marginal cost curve that is straight horizontal across, making it simple for us. So we have marginal cost here, which is constant in terms of the cost of doing business. So a profit maximizing firm sets MC equal to MR and produces based on this. So we can come up to our demand curve to give us the price the firm is going to charge, and down to our quantity axis to give the quantity that they're going to produce in that case. And based on this level of output, what we can show is that the consumer surplus, the area above the price line and below the demand curve, is this triangle area that I've just indicated with the dashed lines. So we have consumer surplus up here. Consumers are still paying a small bit more than so they're not paying as much, they're willing to pay a small bit more than the actual price on the market. We have a producer surplus, or a profit level as well, which is the difference between the marginal cost curve and the price level. So over here we have producer surplus, or the profit that they're taking in. And finally we also have the last section on this graph, which represents a deadweight loss. So this is a firm that's producing less than would be efficient in terms of the market. Now, if we compare this to our price discriminating monopolist, we can start off with roughly the same type of demand curve here, and we'll label that demand. We will also have a marginal cost curve, which we will draw straight across, and we have our marginal cost curve here, a fixed level of extra cost of production, and we'll label that as well. In terms of efficiency, what can happen with price discrimination is that a firm can produce different levels of output. It can sell different units of output at different prices to consumers. So for a high willingness to pay customer, they will be charged a high price level at P1 for this level of output. For an individual and customer who's willing to pay a lower level for the exact same product, Q2, they will be charged a lower level, but their highest willingness to pay as measured by the demand curve. And again, we can look at another customer and another output level, Q3, and we can see that they are charged a lower price because they have a lower willingness to pay as measured by the demand curve, for so P3. The key point here is, for first degree price discrimination, for everything that's sold, the customer is charged the highest amount, or their highest willingness to pay, as measured by the demand curve in each case. And we can come down to this final point here, where the demand curve cuts the marginal cost curve at Q4, and this firm here charges the highest price to every customer for each unit of output, and it produces until the demand curve cuts the marginal cost curve, which is allocatively efficient. So this firm can produce allocatively efficient based on first degree price discrimination. There is no consumer surplus in the market. there is only a producer surplus, which is above the marginal cost curve and below the demand curve. So this entirety of triangle illustrated is producer surplus. And finally, compared to the left hand side diagram, because the firm is allocatively efficient, there is no deadweight loss in this market here. I hope you call back to Cultnomics soon. Bye for now.